In this episode, we are going to cover cost of ownership. So if you're in the market looking for a sailboat and curious about cost of ownership, or you already have a boat and trying to get more information about maintenance or berthing, you may find the upcoming content helpful. Welcome back to CB Sailing. My name is Kıvanç and I own a 2016 Elan Impression 45. Although the information and the pricing I'm going to share in this episode applies to this specific boat, it can be generalized for any similarly sized and spec'd production cruiser. In previous episode, we covered the facilities, the lift experience, the rudder bearing replacement, sail drive and folding prop service, bow thruster service, and underwater works. If you have not seen the first episode, you can find the link on the upper right corner. And in the most recent episode, we covered major engine service, sail drive and engine removal, and sail drive gasket replacement. In this episode, we are going to cover a series of grand tackle upgrades, including a new anchor. CB is going to get much needed solar panels and fresh set of batteries. We will replace all sanitary hoses, service the holding tank, and much more. Our grand tackle upgrades include servicing the windlass, fixing the damaged bow roller. We are going to extend our existing chain, and we are going to get a new anchor and a swivel. Our project number 6 overall and first for this episode is servicing the windlass. For that, Ahmet, the master mechanic, is back in action. The project includes separating the windlass from the windlass motor. The motor will be shipped to a specialty shop for inspection and service. The windlass itself will be serviced at the machine shop within the marina facilities. For those of you who are interested, we have a quick 1000 watt windlass. Nasıl görünüyor bu?
Güzel gözüküyor. Yağ kaçağı falan yok. Açıp şeylerden bakacağız.
In case you're wondering what's under the hood, here's a quick look at the disassembled windlass motor at the workshop. And just like that, everything was back in place within 24 hours. The cost of the windless service is about $350, including parts and labor. Next, we have a series of upgrades and improvements to our grand tackle. For starters, our bow roller has been causing some trouble as the chain tends to jump and get stuck between the roller and the housing. This is the factory equipment, and my assumption is that should be a common problem. We asked the folks at the TMS to come up with a solution. We got the anchor roller modified. The problem we were having was it was about this high, and whenever the chain had an angle, it had a tendency to jump off and get stuck. So by extending this piece, now the chain has no place to jump off and get stuck again. So they did a pretty good job. It's a chrome finish. As you can see, the original was about this high. Modified bow roller has been installed. The bow roller modification cost me about 300 euros. Our next item on our project list is the anchor. CB is equipped with a 20 kilogram Levmar Delta anchor. This is the standard factory anchor that came with the boat and appears to be the choice of the most similarly sized production cruisers. Although we haven't had any issues with this particular anchor, we decided to upgrade to something more robust. After an extensive research, I decided on the Ultra brand and went with the recommended 27 kilogram. I've been eyeing this brand for a while, and since they're produced right here in Turkey, they're much more reasonably priced compared to Croatia or Greece. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison between 20 kilogram Delta versus 27 kilogram Ultra.
Okay, see you, my friend.
All right,
Say hello to the wife.
I'll deal.
Görüşürüz abi.
Hoşça kal Ahmet. We also opted for the highly recommended Ultra Swivel, which is supposed to complement the anchor's holding power. The total cost of the anchor and the swivel is about $1,700. Please note this price is only applicable if purchased in Turkey. Since we have been sailing the southwest coast of Turkey, we noticed the need for ground tackle that allows us to anchor in deeper waters. Some of the most idyllic places in Turkey requires to anchor at 20 plus meters. For that, you need a lot of chain. Our boat is equipped with a 60 meter, so we added another 40 meter to make a total of 100 meters. Thinking that I had a 25 kilogram anchor, it turns out that I have a 20. As usual, we do not accept sponsored content. All goods and services mentioned here or any of our episodes are paid out of pocket by us from our hard-earned money. We decided to extend our chain. The boat came with about 60 meters, and last year cruising in Greece and also in Montenegro, we quickly realized 60 meters was not enough. So we are adding another 40 meters on the top of the 60, the total of 100 meters of chain. I am also going to get a new anchor, which is going to be about 7 kilograms heavier than the one that we have today. That will complete our upgrades to the Grand Tackle. So one of the things I've been told to pay attention to is to make sure the caliber grading of the chain is actually stamped on the chain to ensure the quality of the chain you're buying. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is what I'm referring to. One of the concerns I had was with the addition of the new chain, I wasn't sure if the anchor locker is going to be big enough to hold the new chain. So originally we have 60 meters and we added another 40. So there is total of 100 meters of chain here. And as you can see, there's still plenty of room left. I must admit, the price of the chain was more than I expected. The total cost of the 40-meter chain extension cost me about $608. Next in the project list is plumbing. After a dramatic experience in one of the Greek islands, we decided to take no more chances and replace all sanitary hoses. The job requires quite a bit of prep work, including removal of the floorboards and in some cases the cabinets in order to get access to the hoses, valves, and other relevant hardware. CB is a 2016 model, and these are the original sanitary hoses. Depending on who you talk to, these hoses needs to be replaced every 7 to 10 years.
O da titizmiş biraz.
Zaten bu öndeki tuvaleti zannetmiyorum ki çok kullanmamışlar.
Kullanılmış.
Öyle mi?
Evet. Şeye bağlamış çünkü. Bunları da temizleyeceğiz. İçeri
Kireç mi bağlı?
kireç bağlamış. Bunları ponçöz yatıracağız, temizleyeceğiz. Yani şahane işçilik yapmışlar. Yani bazılarında bu dolabı fixliyorlar. Yani silikon sürüyorlar, sika sürüyorlar. Sökemiyorsun yani. Ama bunda çok güzel işçilik yapmışlar. Yani gayet kolay. Ulaşabiliyorsun her yere.
Ama dolabı çıkartmak zorunda kaldık.
Ama çıkartıyorum yani neticede. Bazılarında onu yapamıyorsun. Daha zor oluyor.
Geliyor mu başka İlhan Tekne?
Vallahi
Duydun mu daha önce?
yok, ismini duydum canım. Böyle temizliğini görmedim yalnız. Tamam şimdi.
The plumbing hoses are being replaced. The boat is 2016, so these hoses are about like 7 years old. And evidently, that is the service life for those hoses. Although they weren't smelly, we did have one incident in Greece where one of these guys got clogged and it was not a pleasant job. So we are taking the opportunity to replace all the hoses. The new hoses arrived. I think there are about 20 meters that came off the boat. And then we had new shipment arrived today, and I believe they are going to install the new hoses today. Here are the new plumbing hoses that arrived today. It is supposed to be one of the higher end quality ones. It took about 20 meters. I'm not sure how much this is going to cost, but we will soon find out. It looks like they already started installing the plumbing hoses. So this right here is our holding tank. And I see a couple of hoses in here. One goes to the macerator, the other one goes to the forward head. Let's see what's going on up front here. That is the forward head. So they had to remove that cabinet in order to have access to the siphon here. So these hoses are new. And look like the Y valve here has been cleaned. And these are new hoses too. And they also replaced the sealings and the joker valve on the pump on the forward head. And then evidently they replaced this plumbing hose too from the head. The cost of replacing all sanitary hoses was a little over $1,200, including parts and labor. Next in the list is the installation of solar panels. For that, first we need a roll bar. The facility that manufactures the roll bar is conveniently located within the marina, so I had the chance to witness how it all came together. The manufacturing of the roll bar is complete. They dropped this earlier here today for a test run. Our solar panels are here too, but we're gonna have to wait for the electrician to come over to install the solar panels. So overall, the quality of the material and labor is pretty good. Give you guys a quick look. The joints and the welding is done pretty good. We also opted for a davit for the outboard engine, which is right over here on the port side. We've been having some trouble transferring the outboard engine, which is located over here, to the stern of the boat when we launch the dinghy. That thing is about, I believe, 43 pounds. And if there is swell and waves, it's a difficult job to bring it down to the dinghy. Now, with the help of this thing, we're hoping that we can lower and hoist the outboard more easily.
Tamam.
Ver alayım ben onu.
Yapıyorum ben de.
So our solar panels arrived yesterday and they put on the top of the roll bar. You guys can see that behind me. I'm quite excited about this because power is probably, it's not probably, is the one area that we suffered the most during our cruising last 2 to 3 years. So we've been relying on our alternator and shore power to recharge our batteries. And hopefully with the help of this, guys, those days are over. Well, the first thing I'm doing is testing the panels to make sure they're functioning properly and nothing bad happened during shipment or during installment. So we're reading about 23.3 open circuit voltage. Let's check out the other one. It is about the same. So I think we're good. So these are 230 watts monocrystal half cut 9 bus bar solar panels. They are grade A and they are produced right here in Turkey. It's by a company called Lextron and they dominate the market here. So I did a walk here in this busy marina and it appears like 1 out of every 4 boat has one of these panels. The total cost of custom roll bar and the panels was little north of $3,200. Next, we replaced all our batteries with fresh AGMs. I shopped around in Marmaris downtown and ended up paying less than what they may cost me if I bought it at the marina facilities. By this time it was beginning of April and it was a challenging task to find a qualified electrician as they were all booked. Here is my recommendation to everyone who is considering taking their boats to Turkey for maintenance and retrofitting. Although you enjoy quality labor at a reasonable price in Turkey, the case is not the same with certain parts and products. Products such as marine electronics and PPT controllers and even engine maintenance parts are more expensive in Turkey due to tariffs and import taxes. Purchase these items abroad and get them installed here. The cost of installing all 6 batteries and PPT controller, battery monitor, and solar panel hookups was little shy of $2,000. Please note this price does not include the cost of MPPT controller and the battery monitor. To my earlier point, I have bought these and brought it from United States. Next in our project list is improving deck safety by installing a pair of secondary handholds. One of the upgrades we have done to increase safety is the secondary handholds. So the primary handholds are factory installed. In 2023, during the retrofitting, we have the secondary handholds custom made and installed to increase safety. This way, we always have 3 ways of contact, moving foredeck, or aft to the cabin. The cost of installing secondary handholds was little shy of $250, including parts and labor. Another tip I would like to mention here is just because you're in a service facility doesn't necessarily mean you have to outsource every project on the boat. There are some smaller jobs in the boat even I can manage. So one of which is these air vents for the engine bay. I am going to replace these sad looking ones with a new pair. Available in the marina store, right in the marina. There are about $15 a pair. Obviously, I will not recommend a self-taught mechanic to change the sail drive gasket. But servicing the winches and replacing the air vents are easy enough tasks. And even if you mess up, the help is nearby. There are some detailed content here on YouTube with clear instructions of how to service your winches. Had we put a service order in, this job would have cost me 200 euros. And servicing the winches is just one example of many for those of you who are mechanically inclined. After 2 months being on the hard, CB is finally ready for the splashdown. Although it was a Turkish holiday, Ahmet made a point to be there for the splashdown. And he was the first one to abort CB after 2 months, to make sure everything is in order.
La gente acá está muy loca.
Of seaweed.
Okay.